Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you can hear me. My name's Spencer Livingston. I am the sales director here at On Demand Fulfillment, and we'd really like to welcome everybody out to our first ever webinar. This is something that's been a couple months in the making. We're really excited that it's finally here. What we really wanted to do today, we want to create kind of a vehicle and an environment to invite not only our existing clients to kind of come on and get touch base with us at least once a month, share some ideas and create a little community. We're going to share some best practices. We're going to reach out and maybe add some resources that you could use in your everyday life to try to maximize your business and really just be kind of a community here that you can reach out to and be inspired by. So those are kind of the overarching goals of our vision behind our webinar series. And we're really kind of excited to get started. So hopefully everyone's connected okay, and you please excuse us from any technical issues with our first run through, but we're excited to get going. We are this is me. I'm Spencer. Like I mentioned, Spencer Livingston. I'm the sales manager for On Demand Fulfillment, and I'm going to be joined today by our general manager, Daniel Lindsay. Daniel, you want to say hi to everyone?
Yep. Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. Excited for this webinar series that we're starting up. Like Spencer mentioned, we're just getting it started, but excited for what we hope it can bring and add value to you and your brands. This initial, topic we're covering may be a bit basic or a good review for you if you're an existing client, but we're excited for what we have planned out for the rest of the year as we'll get more and more into more in-depth strategies and discussions on how we can help you grow your brand and we can all grow together. So I'm excited for this one and more webinars to come for sure. So happy to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks, Daniel. And just also a quick reminder, we're recording this webinar. We will make it available via, we'll make it available through our social media platforms for anybody who, maybe if you missed one of our webinar series, you can always catch back up. But we want to have strong messaging, not only for existing clients, but also for brand new people or people who are maybe considering partnering with on-demand fulfillment to launch their dropship supplement business. So heads up for that. So let's talk about a little bit what we're going to be covering today. We basically wanted to just kind of give an overview of who we are at On Demand Fulfillment and really try to highlight exactly what our strengths are, what you'll find with our program that you can't find anywhere else, what we do better than anyone. Go over kind of the reasons you want to partner with us and reinforce those for clients who are existing with us already. We want to talk a little bit about some of the new products that we've just rolled out in the last couple months, in the last 12 months. And then this will be a place where, as we launch new products moving forward, we'll be able to chat, and those who are on the webinar will get kind of a first preview of those types of products in the months to come. And then, of course, we really want to create an environment where you can feel free to ask questions. We're going to do a Q&A at the end of the webinar. So please feel free to use the Q&A feature of this webinar. If you have specific questions that you'd like us to address during this time, we're going to be doing that at the end of the webinar. So please list your questions on the Q&A.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, and you can add those questions at any time. If we're going through a specific topic, you don't need to wait till the end to submit them through the webinar. Just put them in now and we'll address them at the end. So I'm going to touch on how we're more than just a fulfillment company. Even though fulfillment's in our name, what really sets us apart is the ability for us to private label your supplements. So we are allowing our brands and our clients to launch the brand extremely fast with access to over 100 different proven formulas. We help you design your custom branded labels if you want us, and you have no minimum order quantities. So we can handle the design, the printing, and the application for your brand. So, and then on top of that, we are truly on-demand drop shipping. So other private label manufacturers will allow you to private label their formulas, but you'd still have to buy pretty high minimum order quantities. But with us, we are truly on demand, meaning you only pay us when you sell. So we fulfill your orders one at a time with your custom branded labels, and we ship it directly to your customers. So you really have no inventory risk, and you don't have to deal with any of the back end, warehousing headaches that would come along with the other method of buying in bulk from a manufacturer. So talking a little bit more about our team and how we use our team to really become, we like to think of ourselves as like the back end and an extension of your team, right? And we focus on that in all of our departments, and we try to put ourselves in your shoes as part of your team, so we can have that open communication with you. So that's from our onboarding process to label compliance to the ongoing support with your day-to-day issues. We really try to focus on how we can best help our clients, and you can focus on growing your company and your brand, and we handle all those back end logistics. So some of the best ways we found, especially in this last year, is our proactive communication in regards to product updates, the occasional unfortunate out of stock product if it happens, a change in a label template, new product launches, all that. We're trying to become more and more proactive with that. And most recently, with some of our larger clients, we've been focusing on forecasting plans. And Spencer, if you want to touch on what you've been doing more recently with some of our larger clients, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. One of my favorite parts of watching on-demand fulfillment just scale into the company we've been today is the ability to sit down. I've been here for just over a year. My first year was spent helping all of our clients get on board with our program as much as we can. This year, I'm excited to kind of transition into more of a strategic partner role with our top accounts. We've already done this year already. It's worked out really well, but I like to schedule monthly meetings so we can just touch base, focus on forecasting just for the next 3 or 4 months, make sure that we have adequate inventory to meet the demands. If we see some spikes in your business, which we always are seeing, by the way, and it's so fun to watch, but we want to make sure that we are in the best position possible to keep up with those spikes, to keep your business rolling. There's nothing more frustrating than getting some nice momentum with your business and then running out of inventory. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, I think, in a couple slides. But we do monthly touch points with key partners, focus in on what's working, make sure our inventory forecasts are in line, and really do whatever we can to support the growth of your business.
Yep, perfect. And it really is a two-way street, right? We're trying to be more and more proactive with you as our clients, but we also need you to be proactive with us, right? If you're going to be doing a big marketing push, reaching out and letting us know that, really treating us like your team is what we're striving for, and we all win, and it just helps us grow together. So definitely a big push, and it's been having some really good results so far. The next thing we really try to instill in our different departments is having a real commitment to your brand. And we do that by helping them understand how much work goes into building a brand. Fortunately, I've got about 12 years of experience in the e-commerce industry, built multiple different e-commerce brands across several industries, and I know how much work you guys are putting into building this brand, and how much time and effort and money and sweat and sometimes tears goes into doing this, right? And so not all of our team has that background and experience, and so I try to help them understand that, because I feel that if they understand how much work goes into it, and we take ownership as part of your team and helping your brand grow, it helps us have that perspective to really provide a premium experience throughout the entire support and day-to-day operations. And then the last thing we always focus on is making sure all of the technical side of things are smooth. Technology makes a lot of our lives easier. Sometimes there's problems, of course, but we try to make it so it's fully automated. You can focus on, again, branding and selling and marketing and generating revenue and growing your company, and we handle all the back end, and you don't have to be constantly babysitting it or checking it, right? The next thing, which is really common in the private label industry, and with the drop shipping, sometimes it can be difficult, but we feel like we've really perfected the ability to be that invisible partner on the back end. Your client should have no idea that it's us handling the back end warehousing and the product, inventory and all of that. It's all going to show coming from you directly. Our shipping labels, your product labels, even the tracking emails, if you have us set that up for you, is all branded coming from you directly, so that your customer would never know that you're working here with on demand. So let's see. Yeah, just some examples of how what we do has really helped our clients. With the newer startups, we are able to get them up and running extremely quickly. If you have your site ready, you got your products picked out, and you're able to move through the design process quickly, so you have a clear picture of what you want your labels to be. We've had clients up and running completely within 14 days. And so it's really as fast as you want to move, we can move at that speed. And then as you begin to scale, we've even had clients just at the end of last year, they came on and within 6 months, they went from 0 bottles to doing over 200,000 bottles per month. And all that stuff we talked about previously with the forecasting, the proactive communication, that's all been a huge key in us being able to do that and help that client grow and hopefully help you grow to that kind of volume here in the future. So now I'm gonna hand it off to Spencer to go over a
Yeah,
few more things.
absolutely. And just to touch on that piece for one more second, like I feel like that's the most fulfilling part of my job is watching customers, watching clients come in from nowhere, from zero. There aren't any part of our business plan whatsoever, and they come in from nowhere, and all of a sudden, they build that business that ends up, in the hundreds of thousands of bottles. That's great for them. That's great for us. But that results in literally millions of dollars worth of just gross profit for that particular client. I mean, I just look around and think, what other industry can you build that type of capital that quickly? And I know everybody on this webinar probably is in the same boat. Like they all see the potential too, but it's so rewarding to be able to find that. And I think it flexes the strength of our program that we were able to, help clients like that just scale up so quickly. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's just so fulfilling to watch. So I also want to just touch base really quick for those of you. Daniel's never going to tell us this himself, but he touched on it slightly. Daniel was one of the original founding members of on-demand fulfillment back, was it 7 or 8 years ago, Daniel? Was that how long when you started?
Yeah, so 2017. What 8 years ago now.
Yeah, so Daniel has these pictures of him, in the warehouse, just working away, pulling orders, and it's really cool. He brings just such a breadth of knowledge when it comes to the program, but then he also has significant expertise in starting his own 3PL. He's got awards on his wall for starting $1 million businesses himself. So he's done it all. He's seen it all, and he's a huge resource. So please feel free to use him wherever possible. But he's an extremely great asset to our company. And I also learned today that he won the 5th grade spelling bee as well. Is that your greatest accomplishment, Daniel, would you say?
Probably, yeah. I didn't even get an award for my wall, but I still hold it up there pretty high in my mind,
We're going to make you one. We're going to make you one.
But no, I appreciate the kind words, and I'm excited to share more and more of that through these webinars. And as we get more interaction with our clients of what they're wanting to see and learn more about, I'm excited to craft these out and share more of my knowledge and experiences with you guys, so you can grow and scale with us and just keep building. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to talk next a little bit about, some of the things I do as sales director here. I get to talk to brand new customers every single day. I love it. I love interacting with customers that are looking to start their brand. And I just want to highlight really quickly, like why on-demand fulfillment, is exactly who you're going to want to partner with. We have anybody that's attending the webinar today that's thinking about possibly, looking for that key partner to attach their brand to. This is why you want to choose on-demand fulfillment. So we're going to talk about the trust and the accuracy and the efficiency of our program. We're going to talk about our supplements, our attention to detail, our proactive partnership, and some of our key pieces of our system, which is label proofing and our efficiencies there. So the number one thing that I start with anytime I get a client that reaches out and says, hey, I'm looking to start my business. What should I be considering? The most important thing, bar none, when you're starting a supplement business, as you can see with my beautiful quote here by this very wise person, Spencer Livingston. Okay, that's me. You want to make sure that you are anchored to a reputable source. For those of you who have been in the business of supplements for a while, there's a lot of shady product out there. There's a lot of fillers. There's a lot of international products sneaking in. There's a lot of copycat product that's sneaking in. That is almost single-handedly the biggest strength of partnering with on-demand fulfillment. When we started, we were a division of Vox Nutrition. Vox we still share their same facility. We still go to their same Christmas parties together. We are basically a sister company of Vox, and that is such a huge advantage for us. Vox, in case you don't know, they are essentially a gold standard supplement manufacturing facility located right here in Salt Lake City, Utah. They're FDA registered and audited. They are GMP certified, certified organic, NSF certified. Everything is third-party tested. My wife works in the medical field. She's a nurse practitioner. And when I told her I was coming to work here, that was literally the first thing she asked is, are you third-party tested? Everything is rigorously third-party tested. So I'm in awe still at the lengths that Vox goes to make sure that their product is of the utmost quality, and every on-demand client, that's the product that you're going to be putting your brand on. And so that's the most important part of building your brand, is making sure you're anchored to a reputable manufacturer. In case you haven't ever come to the Vox facility, it's a 70,000 square foot shipping facility. That's also key to our program, because that allows us to be very quick, allows us to access their team back there, and leverage this huge shipping facility to turn product very, very quickly. And then we're excited to announce too, we are in the process of finalizing a second location. So right now, all of our products, as I'm sure you know, they ship out of Salt Lake City. Hopefully sometime this year. I'm not quite comfortable telling you a timeline yet, but we are in the works to open up a second facility in Cincinnati, Ohio. Second facility is just going to shorten shipping times to the East Coast, obviously reduce shipping costs all the way around. It's an enormous undertaking, an enormous investment on our side, but really excited about some of the changes that brings along. Our attention to detail. This is a live picture of Daniel right here. If you can see this, I caught him in his backyard the other day with a picture. No, okay, I'm just kidding. Quality control. We have a very rigorous quality control standard in receiving, printing, and packing. We want to make sure that your customers, when they receive a product, this is your brand, right? And we want to treat it like that. And that is actually an internal philosophy that we have. Is we want to treat your brand as if it was our own. We want to give it every advantage there. We also just recently, this actually is kind of breaking news as well, just recently made a significant investment to upgrade our printers and our labels that were printed on. And in fact, Daniel, do you mind if you guys, this is Daniel's jam right here. Like if you go into his office, he's surrounded by brand new printers. He's consistently like hands-on dialing in the settings, making sure, and then he'll come around and brag about, look at these labels. They're so amazing. He's consistently trying to improve our processes. So can you tell us a little bit about the new stuff, Daniel?
Yeah, definitely. So that has been, the label quality has been unfortunately a pain point of ours for the past few years, I guess. And so we were really excited when we found that Epson just released their brand new single label printing capable inkjet printers. For those of you that know printing and resolutions and whatnot, they are able to print up to a 1200 DPI or dots per inch resolution, which is incredible. Even the smallest fonts in the supplement facts are legible and able to be read. The colors are much more vibrant. And then the second really big change we made is we switched all of our different label sizes to a new material, which is a BOPP instead of a paper-based material. This BOP allows us to, it's like a plastic, I guess, the best way to describe it. So you can apply it with higher tension. That's going to prevent any types of wrinkles or bubbles in the label application process. That material also has more of a sheen or a shine to it. So it appears like it's laminated, although it's not. It is able to look just as pretty and just as good as anything you're going to see on the shelf at GNC, Walmart, and it's just super exciting. Our label cost on that material did double for ours, but it was, we haven't passed that along to any of our clients because we felt it was just so necessary to really allow us to provide a premium and a premier brand experience for our clients and for our clients' customers. So really excited for that as we continue to always look to improve our quality standards on all aspects of the business. So definitely excited for that. And yeah, I do geek out a little bit on that stuff, and it's a good excuse to get off the computer for a bit and go play with the printer for a while. But yeah, excited for the premium brand that everyone can have now with those labels.
Yeah, and I'm not a printer geek. I actually worked for a printer company before, but I'm not as knowledgeable when it comes to the technical side. But what I can tell you is it is shocking the difference. So these new labels and printers are in play like as we speak, right, Daniel? Like orders processed today are using.
Yep. Everything right now is there's technically one size, like the 2x4 size, which is really rare, doesn't, but the rest of them, and here soon all of them will be that new material, and all of them are being printed on that new higher resolution printer though. So everything leaving the facility is just I would call it, our old labels were probably a, I don't know, a B minus, C plus quality. I would call these labels an A minus, just because of the fact that we can't laminate one label at a time. They're not laminated, but beyond that, the quality, the appearance is incredible.
I totally agree with that, and I think it's a great example of how, we don't really talk too much about overall revenues on this webinar, but on-demand fulfillment is coming off of a record year, which, if you think about everything happening in the economy right now, that's pretty amazing to say, and it's really says a lot about a company, and it's a lot about the management philosophy that we're taking these record profits and we're reinvesting it back into our programs to make everything, items that previously were pain points, we're now making them into a strength of our program, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to watch. So keep an eye out for that as you see your products shipping as of today. So that's exciting news. We also are looking to introduce, so we currently have a fantastic support team. They carry our company. We get to sit with monthly KPI calls with each of our support reps, and they are judged by their speed of response, and they are fantastic at it. Hopefully you guys are feeling those same effects from our support team. If you have any problems, just shoot the support team an email, and you should hear back with them within a matter of minutes. That's the KPI that they're judged on. We actually have some exciting plans in the works for 2025 to actually ramp this support team up even more, to reinvest some of that capital into additional support, and even create a different level of VIP support for some of our top clients. So hopefully everyone on this call will be a part of that group, and stay tuned. We'll get you more information when that comes out. But we're just touching base on those monthly forecasting calls as well. If that's something that you feel like you could benefit from, please reach out to us and we can get you scheduled for that. We actually have a really specific forecasting form that we work off of. But especially, as Daniel mentioned, it is a two-way street. And if you see, we don't know what levels our clients are pulling to, boost their revenue. And if you're planning on adding a specific supplement, or maybe you're adding a couple additional marketing channels, please, this is your opportunity to kind of call that out, so that we can make sure on our end that we are that we are prepared for that. We are really, really good at keeping the correct inventory in stock when we know that it's coming. It's a huge strength of our program. But when we don't know it's coming, it becomes very, very difficult. So we want to always stay ahead and keep ahead of those issues before they arise. The other issue the other point of our program that we're really proud of is our label proofing. For those maybe who have not yet started their supplement business, labels are a really big deal. It's something that protects you, protects us. We take our labels very seriously. Our labels are continually being updated. There's a million different things that can cause a label to be updated. And so keeping all of our labels at the most current version is a pretty big job on our end. And then also proofing those labels. We require all of our labels to be evaluated by a third-party group, and then we have a group internally that is specialized in all of the requirements for supplement labels in the US, and they can help streamline that process as much as possible. If you guys think back to when you were setting up with on-demand fulfillment, this is usually the most time-consuming part of our process, is getting labels completely designed and then getting them approved. So that's something that sets us apart from our competition, is we have a team internally to help streamline that process as much as possible. But it's, like I said, it's an important step, because once those labels do get that third-party approval, you can rest assured that you're not going to run into any liability issues. You're not going to get anything taken down. You're not going to run in any risk whatsoever, and you can really just focus in on doing what you guys do best, which is building demand for your product. We got everything else covered.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of key areas here that we are constantly working on to get better, and I feel like we're making good progress on them. So if some of you are existing clients that maybe had label proofing 6 months ago may have been a slightly different story, but we've come a long way, and we're always looking for ways to continuously improve. So appreciate everyone's patience with us, and new clients have it easy now, so we're excited. So moving on, there's just we'll go through these pretty quickly and touch lightly on them, as we want to leave some time for Q&A at the end. But I want to really quickly go over some of the common challenges that we've also faced in the past. We hear our clients saying that if they're with competitors, that they were facing these challenges there. And so let's go over those and how we overcome them. So the 3 areas that we are going to touch on is processing times, inventory, and scalability. So with processing times, our service, we are pushing constantly to be a 24-hour processing time. So 24 hours from the time the order was received into our system, we have it processed and shipped out and packed up. So that allows for our clients to scale quickly, have good customer support, and even more importantly, at times can be the strict regulations on platforms like Amazon, TikTok, Etsy, eBay. They all have very strict metrics on how quickly the order has to be processed and shipped, as well as it allows you to be more competitive on those platforms if you can have that quick turnaround time, as you can start getting closer and closer to competing with like the Prime type orders. The next thing is inventory. So, as most of you know, we do carry a stock of 100 plus unique products of varying inventory levels, obviously based on demand, but that really unique relationship with our manufacturer gives us a huge advantage when it comes to inventory. Between us and our manufacturer, we have a $15 million plus in raw ingredients and finished goods, allowing us to scale very quickly. And, it's just, as your business scales, like the examples we gave before, from 0 to hundreds of thousands of bottles per month in a matter of months is tough to do when you're having to bootstrap that and forecast and handle all the cash flow issues. So we're really positioned to be a partner for extreme growth with really big brands, and help even brand new brands starting at 0 become huge players in the space as well. So it's awesome.
Hey Daniel, too, to chime in on this too. That's again, just having sales calls with new clients every day. Like, I get so many clients coming over from other brands, other drop shipping companies, and this is their number one issue. Their number one concern is they can't keep inventory in stock. And it's a challenge. We understand that's a challenge too. It's always a challenge if somebody comes in with unexpected spikes, but I can confidently say that on-demand fulfillment is the most well positioned of any dropship company out there, because of our unique relationship, that we can absorb that. And we've done it. We have a track record to do it. It's not a theory. We've actually done it in real life. And so it's a huge strength of our program for sure.
Yep, definitely. Well, now Spencer, I think you're going to touch on a few new product launches we have had in the past year. Let me go to the next slide for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the portion of the webinar moving forward where we're going to give you some sneak peeks into what we have. Since it's our first one, I just wanted to give a couple of these supplements some time in the sunshine. If you haven't had a chance to talk to your rep or your support team on these items, they're good sellers for us, and they're relatively new. They've come out in the last 12 months. But we have our menopause support. My wife, who's a nurse practitioner that deals specifically with like hormone therapy, is a huge fan of this supplement. We have a variation of our mushroom product, which is one of our all-time top sellers, but we make that now in a powder product, which has been a really popular one. We're a little back ordered on that one right now, so give us a little patience, but it means it's a good selling product. We have our hydration mix. And then probably our newest rollout is our magnesium powder mix that is a lemon lime kind of citrus type flavor. So we try, I think, Daniel, maybe you can speak to this, but our goal is to maybe add 4 to 5 new supplements into our program every year. Does that seem about right where we're at?
Yeah, it seems to kind of be the trend right now. We do base it a lot off of what our, obviously our manufacturing partner does, but that doesn't exclusively limit us there. And so if you are a, bigger partner and we know you can move volume, we want to be in communication with you about what products you see hitting the market that you would want us to offer. We can definitely develop products from scratch and add them to the ODF catalog when it makes sense, and when we have the right partner that we know can help move that volume, and then we can offer that product to everybody. So oftentimes we get some of the best ideas from those clients who are on the front lines of finding the next hot thing. And so if you have things that come across your screen and you're see the signs that are indicating it's going to be the next big thing, definitely reach out to us and let us know and ask if it's in the pipeline. And once we get multiple people asking for the same thing, we usually find a way to bring that into our catalog. So always looking to improve, always looking to find new ways to stay ahead of the crowd. And so, yeah, just proactive communication with us on that, and we'll do what we can to stay ahead of it.
Fantastic. Well, stay tuned for some exciting new product launches as those come into focus for 2025. So
Yeah.
That's pretty much most of our presentation. We wanted to just take a couple minutes here at the end to just address some of the questions that have come through the chat. We really appreciate all of our first attendees. We never know quite what to expect on our first webinar, but they're just going to get bigger and better from here. So thank you very much for carving some time out for your day. Looks like we have we have a comment from, I'm going to call him out, from our good buddy Mike, that's up in the frozen north of Minnesota. Hopefully things are getting warmer for you up there, Mike. Thanks for chiming in. He says that it's he's really excited about the information on the new printer. Mike's been a long time client for On Demand, and we really appreciate his partnership. Another question that popped up, like, how long does account setup and store integration take with On Demand Fulfillment? This is a really great question. This is a question that comes up in the sales portion of kind of our setup fee. The truth of the matter is it just varies. The biggest variable is how many supplements a client is going to be setting up. But typically we can get accounts through our setup and our onboarding process, get labels approved and designed and approved and everything ready to go. We usually try to set the expectation of, I could get in trouble by Daniel here, but I say about 2 to 3 weeks. Is that a real?
Yeah, so I think
how would you answer that question?
if we break it down just a little more, like you jump on a sales call with Spencer and his team, you can get everything signed up and your onboarding fee paid, everything within that same day if you want. That's really something that's dependent on how fast you want to move. You then hand it off to our onboarding team, who provides you an outline for the next steps. They can generate your SKUs really quickly. If your site's already set up and ready to go, you can add the product listings, the SKUs, while you're also working with our design team or your own designer to get your labels made. If you've made labels in the past, that can sometimes be a process. So I would say the longest window is going to be your design process. Once we have the labels submitted to us, if they go through like a 2-stage proofing process. If the majority of things are in line and they followed all the guidelines they need to, it's typically a 2 to 3 business day process for if you have like 10 or less labels. And then the integration process of integrating your store can be done on a call that you'll schedule with our onboarding team. And that's typically a 30 to 45-minute call. They integrate your store and do all the final checklists, make sure you're ready to go. And so realistically, it's going to be primarily determined by the stage where your website is and the level of, I guess, vision or plan you have on your design to be able to implement and execute on your design process quickly. So that's just a little more insight, but it can happen very quickly. I've had people come to us that actually came from our manufacturers, and we're able to push them through in days. I didn't really include them in the example before because they are an outlier, but we can get the process done in days if needed. It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. All right, let's do one more question really quick, and then we'll tie things up. I have one of our clients are asking, my labels are mostly black. Will that still look grayish with the new label material? That is definitely a Daniel question. What do you think, Daniel? Are black and white labels going to be affected by the new material?
Yeah, so the issue, to give some context to this, is on the paper materials, they're more absorbent material. And so as the black ink would be sprayed onto the paper, it would absorb into a lower level of the paper, giving it more of a dark gray, not black type look. Now they are pure black, and that's one of the biggest things that stand out. Are the black labels from before compared to now are completely different. And the only exception would be potentially if your label file, the color on your label file is off, and we can work through that, of course. But yes, if it's a pure black on your file, it's a pure black on the label now. It's a huge improvement.
No, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. And for somebody who's not part of our program yet, we do allow within our program. You always have the option of outsourcing your own labels if you want to go to a more professional print shop. You have that option. It adds a couple elements of tracking inventory of that and using that in our program. But we can allow that. We can trigger your account so that we apply your own high quality labels as an alternative. But my goodness, from what I've seen with these new with these new labels, I think you're going to be really happy with the ones that are included at no additional charge within the program. Okay, I know I said that'd be our last one, but I think we should take one more. Can you please focus on different types of shipment method, which includes DDP? Oh, Daniel, he's just asking about kind of options for shipping and kind of
Yeah,
are there
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
any changes with
I
that moving
see.
forward?
Yeah, I see John's question right here. So, yes, you refer when for those that don't know, DDP refers to like basically prepaid duties for international shipping. To be transparent, our international volume is substantially smaller than our domestic. I think it's roughly 95% domestic, and maybe not even 5% is going international. So while we are, I was actually emailing our broker carriers today about these services. We're actively working on it. It's not as high on the priority list as maybe the domestic rates always are. But there are a few things being worked on. The biggest issues we run into with is typically if you're doing a DDP service, you're going to have your specific products and SKUs and labels pre-approved by each country's customs that you want to send to. Obviously, that's a big process. It's easier to do when you're just an individual brand, kind of handling that yourself. But when on our side, when we have hundreds and hundreds of clients and tens of thousands of labels, it's not something we do across the board for all clients all at once. And so in the past, all of our international shipping has always been and still currently is DDU, meaning it's duties unpaid, and clients, the end customer would have to be responsible for whatever duties need to be collected by their respective countries' customs. So John, yes, it is in the works, as we understand, and I realize with my experience in e-commerce in the past, it's a huge opportunity for clients to really scale internationally, as marketing costs are typically cheaper internationally, and it is being worked on actively. I'm hoping at the latest by the end of Q2, we're going to have a really solid option for both DDP and a better DDU option. So hopefully that answers that question. So.
Amazing. Great question, John. Thank you. Thanks to everybody for chiming in, and hopefully that gives you a sense of like just having direct access to management during these webinars. Like I mentioned, we're really looking forward to having a monthly webinar. Our tentative plan at this point is to schedule that for the first Friday of every month around this same time. So just stay tuned and keep an eye on your emails. Of course, we'll send out additional information as we move kind of forward with that program. But we really sincerely appreciate all of our clients and everything that you do for us to keep our business going. Really excited to grow and continue our prosperity through 2025. Daniel, do you have any last words?
Yeah, no, I think it went really well. Hopefully you guys gained some additional insight that's valuable. I'm really excited for the future sessions that we're going to have here. And for those of you on the call that are, maybe just interested in checking us out, and especially as we plan to be sending this out to potentially leads in the future, just if you are ready to work with us and want more about that, the best way to just be reach out directly to Spencer and his team right here with the sales@ondemandfulfillment.com. They'll provide you, our setup guide, a lot more information. They'll jump on a call with you, go through, everything we talked about today in even more depth, answer any additional questions you have, and get you set up on the right foot to really make some big impact for your brand. So again, that's all I really had, and appreciate everyone's time for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one too.
Thanks a lot, everybody.